I'm Jono Rowe, and I wanted to take some time to share a little bit of my story, my background as a husband, father, entrepreneur, business owner, mentor, mentee, chartered accountant, to share a little bit of my story and what's important to me, to tell you a little bit about myself and what I'm all about, what's important to me, some of my values and principles, and some of the mission and vision that I have for wanting to work with people all across the world. You've probably come across my content somewhere, or you've come across my name, maybe having a conversation with somebody who's working with me personally, and you're exploring the idea of maybe a partnership, or wanting to get access to some coaching and mentorship, or maybe just wanting to grow, maybe just wanting to improve yourself. And so I want to share some context for what I see as really important to working with the right people, to the vision and mission that I have for wanting to make a big impact, and some of the things that we do in business and entrepreneurship, and some of the projects we're working on, and some of the focus on leadership development and mentorship, which I believe is a real gap with people these days. It's a gap in our society and our community because people just don't have access to mentorship from people who they can trust, people who they know have their best interests at heart, who understand their values and principles and their mission and what's important to them, but actually have the results and a game plan, a blueprint to be able to help them design a future lifestyle that is driven by what's important to them, their own values personally to them, whether it's family, whether it's as a couple, or maybe it's to travel the world, maybe it's just to get a bit of time back, maybe it's to make a bit of extra money so that you can have a bit more flexibility financially with some of the things that you're spending your time doing. Whatever it might be, driven by values is a really important starting point for anyone that I consider working with, or anyone that I do work with. Coaching and mentoring hundreds of people all over the world now, coming from a background of financial services, working in corporate, to being an entrepreneur and being a full-time dad, full-time husband, and having that flexibility financially, but also flexibility from a time point of view, because that ultimately was my mission, was my drive to want to get my time back. And now I want to reinvest it back into people, the right people who are hungry to grow, who have a growth mindset, who want to really improve and better themselves, want to be better tomorrow than they are today. There's lots of people out there who are quick to criticize, want to make a negative comment. Tall poppy syndrome is rife in our country. Australia, New Zealand, this western part of the world, people want to cut others down when they're succeeding, because often it highlights their own insecurity and the lack of their own drive, or lack of their own growth, or maybe just lack of direction with whatever they're doing. But the reality is we can all grow together, we can all help improve each other, and we can all add value to others. And that's our leadership philosophy. Leadership is about adding value to other people, not just to ourselves. It's not about creating success for one person, but creating success for everybody, whatever that looks like. Success is defined as an achievement of a goal or a purpose. And so whatever someone's goal might be, or their purpose, a lot of people don't know what their purpose is. So it's important to seek some clarity about what that even looks like for you. Helping someone achieve that is fulfilling. Helping someone conquer their goal or find their purpose and then live a life according to their values and principles so they can live a great life is really important. For some context of my background, I'm a chartered accountant. I started out as a graduate in a Big Four accounting firm for a number of years, then moved into the cinema business, then into a CFO role at a commercial construction company before diverting to a full-time entrepreneur, full-time dad, full-time husband, which is the values that are so important to me. And I was brought up in the Manawatu, went to Palmerston North Boys High School, loved playing rugby, sport, getting involved in anything, everything, played music, and met my beautiful wife in Wellington. I now have 4 children and love them so much. Everything we do today is part of the legacy that we're building for them, not just about wealth or success or money, but about making an impact and forging and molding their character to be great people, to be great citizens of this country, to be great people who can add value to others, that chase their dreams and live through their values and principles, not just about the expectations of others, which is often a regret that people have down the track, is wishing they lived the life that they wanted to rather than what other people expected them to live. No matter what your situation is, I don't know what your story is, what your upbringing is, what struggle you've been through. We all face adversity, but navigating that adversity can be really challenging. And so that's something I'm really passionate about, is coaching and mentoring people through adversity to build emotional resilience, to build resilience so they can then develop skills, so they can then create real tangible results. And when I was working 80, 90, 100 hours a week back in the corporate world, I was enjoying the work, but I wasn't really excited about the direction it was taking me. I actually could see really clearly the next 10, 20 years, it was going to take me in a direction that actually I was going to have limited time and limited access to my family. And ultimately those were the most important people to me. So I started trading shares and foreign currency and getting into real estate. I was looking for a way to make some money because I thought that was the thing that I needed to do to be able to get ahead. I was just really fortunate to connect with some amazing people who agreed to take me on, agreed to mentor and coach me, take me under their wing and help me develop skills, help me think like an entrepreneur, like a business owner, and to create other business and income outside of what I was doing now. We built a networking business, sales and marketing business all over Australia, New Zealand. We're able to build a strong, stable income so that we could step away from full-time employment, which has been the blessing for us to be able to create extra income, but actually to really redirect our time to do the things we really want to do. And that's my drive. My mission now is to help families, individuals, couples think about those values, create clarity around their purpose, around their vision, what that outcome looks like, and then go about by implementing some good habits and skills and developing a financial literacy around how money really works, that it shouldn't be something that we should just be chasing. It should be something that serves us so that we can get more flexibility and choices. I'm extremely grateful for the people who have invested in me in my life. People right through my teenage years and my 20s, but particularly the last decade, where I've had mentors in my life who have had results and they have the future that I want as far as the choices and the flexibility, but they've invested time into me and helped me grow into the person I need to grow into to help others, to become the leader I wanted to be able to make a really positive difference. That's what I'm so grateful for, relationships. There's a study that's been going for 85 years now with the Harvard University. It's been looking at the key to happiness and longevity. What's the key to happiness and growth? What is the key to being able to live a long time but being happy as well? And the conclusion, which is very clear for the study that they're going in, over time is proving even stronger and stronger, is that the key to happiness and longevity is driven by the quality of our tribe, by the quality of people we have in our life, the quality of people we're hanging out with, we're spending time with, we're doing life with. So I'm a big believer, especially the business that we build and people that we work with, is creating really great quality relationships fueled by trust, integrity, and character, so that you can enhance the quality of your life by getting around good people that can empower you and equip you and help you and encourage you, right? And actually tell you what you need to hear rather than what you just want to hear, or just be emotionally impacted by some social media article or some social media post or someone else's story, someone else's highlight reel that you don't have in your life. And instead of worrying about what you don't have, really being focused on what you do have, a moment of gratitude, but then thinking more intently about kind of how you're going to move forward. How do you want to live your life? How are we going to unfold this next few years of our lives, and how do we want to live that way? So getting around people that can help you do that is really, really key. So grateful for that, my wife and I and my family, and we want to give back to other families. That's our mission, that's our vision. We want to work with families and individuals and couples to be able to live a great life, live with intent and live with purpose. At the heart of everything we do and everything I do is my core values: faith, family, integrity, character, legacy, excellence, courage. Those values are really underpinning everything we do. And if something that is not aligned to those values, then I have a crucial conversation about whether an adjustment needs to be made. And so as you get to know me, as you build a relationship with me, if that is the case, or work with somebody that I'm working with, those values will be very clear and will shine through. And it's important to me, if I'm going to consider working with somebody, or someone I'm working with is building a relationship with you, that those values come up and you discuss integrity, character, trust, the important elements of an effective mentoring relationship. I'm passionate about inspiring our generation to live with personal freedom and financial flexibility. One of the ways we are doing that is to helping people develop financial literacy to understand how money really works, but also develop really good habits with accountability. Reading every day, listening to some kind of podcast audio every single day, associating with the right people, bettering your time management skills, your self-image, your communication, your relationships, improving people's relationships, improving people's financial positions, helping people pay down personal debt through good budgeting processes. Debt is riddled within our country. Many lives are strangled by their financial situation because they go buy cars that they can't afford. They borrow money from the bank for a holiday, borrow money for some kind of personal loan for whatever reason to give money to the family, even though they can't afford it. These finance companies and banks are giving away money freely, and yet that it is holding people back for decades after because they're not in a position to be able to pay that back off. My mission is simple: to develop the most influential network of people who want to make a difference in the community around them, to develop themselves, to grow themselves, a growth attitude and a growth mindset so that they can leave a legacy that lasts. And legacy is about 3 generations from now. It's not about this Friday night. It's about long-term thinking, about what are you going to do with your life in the next few decades that's going to make a really positive difference. Our business has been a vehicle for helping people grow, and we qualify the people that we might consider working with. People don't just sign up to some program or some course. There's plenty of that online these days. Plenty of ways to make money, plenty of businesses to sign up to, products and services and coaches and courses and things that you can sign up to and pay money for that don't necessarily make tangible difference in your life. And so one of the things that's really important to me is making sure we vet and qualify and prepare and educate anyone that wants to go down the business journey. You want to become an entrepreneur? Great. Let's build the foundation of learning before you get started. Let's make sure you're in a financial position to be able to do that. Make sure you're living through your values. You have some clarity around what that looks like long term. I only mentor people based on a personal referral. So by chance, if you've been connected with me, someone has vouched for your character and someone has vouched for who you are. There's a desire there to want to grow and want to improve. I'm not interested in talking to people who don't want to grow and don't want to improve themselves. I'm not interested in mentoring people who actually have no desire to grow and improve themselves and better themselves tomorrow and build skills, because that's what we're all about. I want to work with people who want to make a difference around them and want to be a leader and want to get outside their comfort zone, which is going to be difficult because it is challenging to be in business and to grow yourself. It's not going to be easy, but life is not easy anyways, so doing it around people who can actually really help you has made all the difference to Kirsty and I. So here's a few things I've learned. The quality of your life is determined by the quality of your relationships. The association is really key. You're the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. You've probably heard that from John Maxwell before. So the people you're hanging out with is a direct reflection on you. Your habits become their habits over time. So are you hanging out with people who are focused, who have some goals, are moving forward, who want to better themselves, want to be intentional about their time, who want to work on their relationship, or trying to manage their money better? Or are you hanging out with people who are frivolous with their money, full of apathy, who are negative about everything and anything? There's plenty of those in the workplace. Improving your association, improving your quality of the people in your life is going to enhance the quality of your future as well. You're leaving your legacy, whether you're intentional about it or not. The reality is, over our lifetime, whatever length that looks to be, is that you're going to leave a legacy. And most people don't think about this at all. What I've realized over the last handful of years is that being intentional about how I want to build my legacy is really key, because I don't want to get to the end of my life and look back and go, man, I didn't do what I wanted to do. I didn't pursue the goals that I wanted to pursue. I did what everyone else expected me to, get a job, work for 40 years and then retire. Maybe that was the formula for just what everybody should do. I wanted to build a legacy that was going to matter, that's going to make a difference with my children and the people that I'm working with. So think about your legacy, think about the intentional element of that. Everybody has 168 hours a week. It's what we do with that time that makes the difference. We all have the same amount of time, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, unless it's a leap year. We have the same amount of time, 168 hours a week. So it's how we choose to use that time that's going to make the difference long term. If we're using and wasting that time on things that don't actually make a difference, if we're just binging YouTube, Netflix series or TV series to consume our time, we're entertained to death literally over time, because we're using and consuming the time that we only get to spend once. And that's the thing about time, you only get to use it once. So how you use it is really, really important, because you don't get it back. Having children has made me realize this so much, because they're going to grow and going to grow up, and they're never going to be that age again, and they're going to be young. So the quality of my time with them and the time with them is so precious, because I'm not going to get that back. Don't expect somebody to understand your path if they don't understand or know your vision. That's really key, because you might have a dream to become a pilot. You might have a dream to go overseas for a couple of years to get some work experience. You might have a specific career path that you want to take, but it's different to what your parents expected you to take or want you to take. So you've got this vision for your life, you've got this future self or future lifestyle, future state, future legacy that you want to build, and others might not understand your path along the way. And so don't be discouraged that others might not just get it over time. You have a vision, you're clear, you just are going on that path to be able to achieve that vision, and others are going to see that journey and not understand, because you're making decisions and changes that they wouldn't make because they don't have that vision. One of the keys to a successful relationship is not 50-50. It's 100-100. 100% commitment, 100% all in. You see, a lot of relationships think that, oh, I did the dishes tonight, so you should clean up, or I did this, so you should do that, or when are you going to do something like more than I'm doing? And it's this kind of tit for tat measurement of the tangible effort we're making at home, or contribute to the household from a financial point of view sometimes. But in reality, a great relationship, a great marriage is one unit. It's one unit. You're a partnership, you're a group, you're one together. And having that attitude of being 100% all in is really key to a successful relationship, something that Kirsty and I have been applying for years. We've been working hard at. We don't always get right. I have the commitment of 100%. I'm going to give myself to Kirsty. I'm going to 100% commit to my family. I'm going to do what's required to lead my family. I'm not going to complain that if I feel like I'm doing a little bit more, because I'm one unit. I'm our family and our relationship. The key to getting results in anything, in my view, is focus, what I call the success factor. The factor of success is being focused on one thing for a season, for a period of time. And if you look at all the successful people like Steve Jobs and Warren Buffett, Kobe Bryant, Michael Jordan, you could think of anyone that has some significant success in any arena. It's actually not the things necessarily that they were doing that made all the difference. It's what they were not doing. They were not doing the things that actually wasted time, that weren't channeling their energy and focus to their dream and to their mission, their goal, whatever they were trying to achieve. It's the things that they're not doing that actually is separating them from the rest. And when you see people grow, when you see people succeed, it's actually not the secret of what they're doing, their skills or the secret business or the idea or they've come up with or how hard they work. Those are all factors along the way. But it's actually, they're not spending time being distracted and the time with people or tasks that actually aren't fueling and channeling the results getting in that one particular area. So staying focused is really key to being successful. One of my favorite things to talk about when I'm coaching and mentoring people, when I'm working with people in life, is to talk about life strategy. So being intentional about the future. We've talked a little bit about that here already. I hope you got some value from it, but thinking about the outcome in mind. What in 5, 10, 15, 30 years, how do I want to be living? What is my life strategy to move towards that outcome and be intentional about the next steps to progress towards that state, that future desired state, that lifestyle. So if you ever consider working with us, working with me from a coaching and mentoring point of view in business, we'll talk about that. We'll talk about being deliberate. But the reality, of course, it does take work. It takes effort and it's not going to be easy. Putting in that effort over time though is the most rewarding thing because you stretch yourself, you step outside your comfort zone, you're going to become someone that you never really thought you would become because you're maximizing your potential. So that's just a glimpse of who I am and what I stand for. I hope you got some value out of that. I hope you gave some more insight to what I do and why I do it. So be sure to subscribe. I've got more content coming your way. Like, comment, share, follow us on Instagram, and we'll see you again.